Wow.
Wow. Stand back.
That snake drains. Hey-o. Anyways, a lot of times people get their sewers cleared. Basically, you're just giving it a haircut. And the roots are just wet. They're only growing for their life, so anyways. And then we brought a couple goodies here.
Show me really quick, Hans.
The gate valve.
Hey, there we go.
The official gate valve, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So this is ancient. Anyway, so the trick with this one is you don't close it all the way. And if you open it all the way, you turn it back like a half turn so it doesn't freeze up. And then we got moved on here to the next. And what happened with this was they lasted forever, but since we cheap out, we like to make things smaller and cheaper, and they crap out. I'd say a dime cost you $1. So anyways, then we moved on to the ball valve. Stainless steel ball on Teflon seats. It's either open or closed. So if it's perpendicular to the pipe, it's out, it's closed. And if it's with the pipe, it's on. Most valves are like that, gas valves, so on and so forth. So then they now have, you can put a valve inside your line or in line with your system. And if your house has a leak, it'll shut the house off. Water leaks are pretty awful. Have a friend makes good money off of water restoration. And the one thing I really dislike, most things I touch I throw away. But anyways, if I touch it, I own it, so therefore you get a new one. So sometimes they have hairline cracks and you don't see them until it's too late. And if you want to get your house remodeled, that's another way to put out your house or what have you. And what was it? The angle stops, the little stops underneath your sinks, if they have the one-piece angle stop, shut-off valve, and supply line, little copper flex line, those are awful. I touch those every time they get junked because they're just like they're accident waiting to happen. So I will sell you what you need to have. I'm not going to sell you what you don't need to have. So anyways, we had a discussion here a while ago, or was Bob had a discussion, and he said that the trenchless guys have a license to steal. And I was like, oh, okay. No. Anyways, I had a customer a couple of weeks ago. And, well, I was taking care of her. Like I was going to her house twice a year to clear her sewer line so it wouldn't stop up. But eventually, the little hairline roots are now turned into little branches, and the snake's having a hard time. It's time to do something. The sewer line's never getting any better. So needless to say, she goes, Hans, I want to replace this line now. Well, I figured, well, your line's working now. Your sewer line's working. We're okay for a minute. And needless to say, I came back and we were going to do it and talk it up. And she got somebody else to do it. It was a 100-foot line and she charged you $10,000. And I thought about those numbers. And I go, well, if I had dug the line back in the days without the trenchless, it was still $100 a foot. Now it's still $100 a foot. That's not bad, really, if you think about it. So she got taken care of. I was depressed, but she got taken care of. And older lady, we come and visit, we chat. But anyways, trenchless is nice. If you need trenchless, I got contacts. Whatever you need, I got contacts in the plumbing world. So my story is that my dad was a plumber, my grandfather was a plumber, my uncle was a plumber and then a building inspector. And it was, I didn't have an allowance. I had money, but I started out thinking like a quarter an hour and went up to 50 cents and people gave me $1. It was a big deal. And my dad told me he'd pay me all I'm worth if I worked that cheap. We got lots of one-liners. My son says it's not quality pass-through generation, it's just BS pass-through generation. So his was that he wanted how much he was going to get paid, and I told him $1.280 an hour. And then he came back he was 10, he goes, you know, Dad, there's no such thing as $1.280 an hour. I go, no, that's right, it's just BS. But he worked with me well. He went to college. You work with me, you go to college. Otherwise, you get to use the goon spoon. That's what we call the shovel. You want to be a screw up, you can be a plumber. Come on, let's have a good time. Hard work, labor, it's good. In the day, I was working for my dad, and I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks an hour, and you can make a living at those numbers. Now, those numbers don't work for nothing. So, what's a little inflation? Your house didn't go up in value, it's just adjusted for inflation. So, I was pulling out a sewer ejector pump. It was nasty. It was a tank, and I put my arm way down there and get it, and I go, am I getting that for 50 bucks? No, I'm not. $100? No, I'm not. 150? Well, maybe. 200? Yeah, I'm getting it. So, that's how it works a lot. And or do I want to go swimming underneath your house in sewage? It's always a good time. Kitchen sink lines are just wonderful. That's basically sewage and nasty. So I charge enough so I don't smell it. If you go out to Rancho Murrieta, there's houses out there above the lake, little pond or something before you get there. The lower house is mine, the one on top of the hill, which was crazy, stupid big. I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000 square feet. That's not mine, but the lower one I did, which is normal house, like 2,000 square feet. That's my house. Then the heat and air was in there too. I took my dog with me there, and the people on the upper house didn't appreciate her coming up when I swim in the pool. The dog had a good time, little pit bull. She ran the place, she had a good time. That was like the last house I did. Last custom home.
Commissioner, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Or should I wait for my question at the end?
No, I can use a break, go ahead.
So the first thing you showed, lefty loosey, righty tighty, the big gate thing. Is that like a whole water thing going to a house? You turn off the water in the house?
Yeah.
So is there a thing that I have been told on my house that the pressure that comes to my house is a little too high?
Yes.
That, of course, so if the pressure comes to my house a little too high, of course, that could kind of weaken your other pipes. And then I was told that Matt might want to think about redoing whatever to make that pressure not as
They
bad.
have a pressure reducing valve, but the pressure you want is anywhere between 40 and 75 pounds. And if you read your small print on your water heaters and your faucets and what have you, anything over 75 pounds, you avoid warranties. But no one reads it, no one cares. So, but it plays havoc on your system. Makes the one it plays the most on is your toilet valves, because the little diaphragm in there, or your sprinkler valves that slam in the night. And depends on how you plumb it too. So
I have a question. I have an upstairs shower that whistles when it's on. What could be the problem with that? The water whistles.
it's loud.
Yeah, I can hear it all over the house.
Sometimes in the day, the washers would get loose and it'd hum. There's the washers, the little bib washers, they would get loose and vibrate, harmonic hum. That's popular. We'll take it apart and put it back together again. Have a good time.
It's only one shower that does that.
Yeah, so you don't use it very often, so who cares?
There you go.
I had a lady here last week, a couple weeks ago, in the West. She had hardened valves, which was designer in the day. That's now That's the reason you don't buy designer valves, because now try to get parts for it. So needless to say, I got parts for it, but she didn't tell me what the whole story was. She goes, it never worked in the first place, never had water. Oh, well, in that case, let's try opening up these valves in the wall. Dang, we got water. So, and she was happy. I don't know, she's like 80-some years old. Then she sent me a text on Sunday evening. Watch out, lady. She was just saying I did a good job.
Aw.
I don't think she was hitting on me. That's one of the drawbacks of being so good looking. Anyways, my wife does help me do my work periodically. Helps me put in water heaters. So, what a wonderful woman. And snake pipes through the attic for me, nail them up. It's good. And and my son was a very good plumber, or he was engaged. Some people come to work and it's like, wake up, you gotta go get something, you know, it's pretty sad. Or they have no ability to work. They have no work ethics. So, they, my son was engaged and he dug ditches and crawled underneath houses. He'd crawl on his back. I don't crawl on my back. He'd crawl like this, shimmy on his back to get where we need to go. I'm not doing that. So, when I first started out, we didn't have much protection. We didn't use respirators. I use a respirator. I don't like using my nose for a vacuum cleaner. But the days of me spending the day underneath the house are over. It gets old real quick. I know I could do that in a day, but no, I'm doing that no more. It's, I kind of pick and choose what I do. So I get mad at myself for not chasing stuff that comes in the evening. People wait all day. Oh, my kitchen sink stopped up and now it's 6 o'clock. Yeah, my dinner's ready too, so. And we just pour Drano down it. Don't pour Drano down your garbage disposal. It'll fry it. If it gets hot enough, they'll warp it and destroy it. And they go, it says so you can on the can. Yeah, have a good time. But
So those flushable wipes, you know.
Pardon me?
So those flushable wipes, say they're
Well,
flushable
they're flushable, but they don't travel.
They don't travel.
They go down.
They go down, but they don't travel.
They don't travel, yes.
They're not good for, there's only like one that will do it. Not, the cotton, the wipes are not, or any kind of wipes and politically correct air filament hygiene products do not go down my toilet. If you want to stop at the sewer line, do it, but if you don't, don't. If you have any flaws in your sewer line, and then you flush those stuff down there, it's all gonna hang up and you're gonna stop up.
Like a beaver dam.
Yep. I had one the other day and the guy goes, oh, my toilet stopped up. Okay. I went out there on a Saturday and he goes, well, now my water's coming up in my shower and in my other toilet. Oh, you got a mainline stop. He's 90-some years old. Him and his wife. My wife's using a lot of toilet paper. You know, well, we just found out you got a flaw in your line there or something. But needless to say, he goes, I tried to do what I could do, and I didn't come out prepared to attack. So I didn't have my sewer machine, so I tried his hose and I shoved it up there, give it a go. Nothing happened. And I go, you need to call another company. He goes, how much owe you? You don't owe me nothing. We're good. No problem. And he was off and running. Sometimes I have a lot of customers, if they have Parkinson's, they give them a lot of meds. Meds, a little pain is better than constipation. Anyways, I'll tell my customer, my wife gets mad at me because I'll tell my customers, hey, what can I do? I say, eat more roughage. Oh, I'm the only guy who will tell you to do that, but it's true. No one wants to talk about that. I'll talk about that. Plus, there are toilets out there where that will work. Not all toilets are created equal. The Toto is a little bit better than most. Notice they have them in the Rayleighs over here. You listen to that toilet, it hits. At the bottom, I listen to toilets. Anyways, they kind of make a snapping sound when they clear out. This one here is nice. Anyways. They have like 3-inch openings.
5 minutes,
Toilets,
5
3
minutes.
1/4, 3-inch openings. And those toilets will take anything just about. My father-in-law had Parkinson's, and he's Japanese. And that was a very private thing. He didn't want to talk about it. It was to say we got him a Toto toilet, the high-rise one. He was very pleased. And we go out to Christmas dinner and stuff. He was always happy to get home to his toilet. What is it? What do they say? A toilet is something that you, toilet that's friendly and you are acquainted with. It's a nice toilet. Anyways, so we got questions. I'm
I
down
have a
here.
funny question.
Go ahead.
What is the strangest thing you've found flushed down a toilet?
Toys.
Right, I mean, I've had Hot Wheels, that was the first, disaster we had when I had really little boys, Hot Wheels, that was.
Toys.
Yeah.
And a lot of condoms in the day. Nothing too exciting.
Nothing to excite?
Nothing.
Speaking of flushing things down the toilet, my two sons, when they were smaller, and their friend, they had that little quack quack game that went around, and they quack quack quack, and you pick it up, and it has a color on the bottom of it, so it was like a memory game. So Jimmy just went like this and watched it go down, and they were pretty big. I can't believe the toilet actually took them. They were on a septic tank. I can't remember what they did, but it cost a little bit of money. Because there was like 8 of them on that thing. It took all 8 of them.
Oh, yeah.
She caught him on the last one.
They have some stuff out nowadays, it's called like an enzyme you can dump in your toilets, and that's good stuff. And put that down your kitchen sink too. Go ahead.
I have a question. So a few years ago when I bought my home, of course, everything fell apart the first year. New roof, new sewer line, everything. But I had a party, and apparently the next day my sewer line burst, and it burst all over my garage through a sink in my garage. I did get that fixed, but so I did use trenchless, and the only reason I did is because they were about $10,000 cheaper than everybody else that I called. And they had a little guy who could fit under my house. Honestly, that was a big deal. That was a huge deal because I have subfloor and a little bit of a lift, so a small guy had to get under there. But one of the things I've noticed is I have 2 garbage disposals. I have one on my island and one on my sink. Every once in a while, we'll hear a gurgling sound, and it freaks me out because that's what happened when everything exploded. So what is the gurgling sound that just randomly happens when somebody flushes the toilet, I don't know, 700 feet away or something like that?
That's getting interesting.
Thank you. I like to make things spicy.
Yeah. I do have well, someone was saying you pour salt and vinegar down your kitchen sinks. They push out the stink or the build off the sludge. Kitchen sink is basically sewage because of all the food product, grease, slime. So
That's what could be doing.
there's one I talk myself out of work now and then, but anyways, if your kitchen sink, you have a 2-compartment kitchen sink, one side with the garbage disposal and one with just the sink. So you fill both sides up. You put the plug in the side without the garbage disposal and hold it down, and then pull the plug on the garbage disposal and turn on your garbage disposal, and the garbage disposal pumps and can clear out your junk periodically. And then you put in, lemon in your garbage disposal. Makes it smell lemony fresh.
That's the gurgle sound?
No,
So it's dirty or?
No. The gurgle sound, I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, okay.
That's, I didn't design your plumbing, so. Or if I designed your plumbing,
God
yeah.
designed my plumbing.
Well, most of the houses are, they're production, they're all production.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so in the last year, we've all been disposing of our food waste into our green garbage, right? What has really been the outcome of all that? I mean, because I've not been disposing of my food in the garbage disposal, because it all goes in the green waste in the garden. What do you think's the upshot of all that?
Well, you're not clogging up your kitchen line. The kitchen lines will rot out or clog up because of the grease. So, and then I don't know, waste management. I don't know, someone says they're mafia, but what that? But they recycle it and they put in the other green product. And you go buy it and put it in your garden or something.
Right, it gets composted.
Fertilizer. We mulch. I have a can next to my kitchen sink, and then I have an acre, so I got a big land, or my wife wants a big garden, we're working on it, but we'll dump it in there and let it rot out. I don't know, I think it brings around the rodents or the animals, but the cat likes them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we are at time.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.